What's up everybody, my name is Mark and today we're doing a review on the brand new Insta360 Link 2C Pro. So let's get into it. So what I've been using is an M4 Pro MacBook Pro. This has a new upgraded webcam. It's actually pretty good. I wanted a true 4K webcam that was gonna be really good and I wasn't gonna have to upgrade for a long time. It came down to two candidates, which it turns out is a huge battle between the OBS Bot Meet 2 and the Insta360 Link 2C. Shortly after that, I find out that Insta360 just a month ago dropped a Link 2C Pro and a Link 2 Pro. It's just overall supposed to be better, but it was $200. So I was like, dang. But there's a main reason why I'm making this video on this specific Insta360 Link 2C Pro webcam. One, it's so fresh and so new that there's a few reviews on this on YouTube, but they're all sponsored videos. And even the creators say in the videos, the company sent me this, but they're not sponsoring the video, or the company is sponsoring the video, like all these different things. But at the end of the day, they sent you this for free to review, and you know because they sent it to you for free, you're not gonna be 100% truthful. You're just not. You know they're not. When it comes to reviews, you want someone who spent their hard-earned money on a product because they're gonna give you a full, honest review. They're not gonna catch any flack from a sponsorship or whatever. We're gonna do a couple tests. We're gonna do low light, we're gonna do bright light when I have a streaming light on me. Like, we're gonna do it all. Let's get into it. The main difference between the 2C and the 2C Pro for the $50 price difference is a larger sensor. The Link 2C Pro has a 1 and 1.3 inch camera sensor, where the other one is only a 1/2 inch sensor. A couple other things it says is the 2C Pro has HDR, better dynamic range, cleaner image, less noise. Supposedly, this is also supposed to have a lot better low light. Alrighty, let's do this unboxing. So, take our camera piece out here, and it has a magnetic logo, and then it basically shows, if you double tap this portion, it zooms in. So that's pretty cool. Ooh. So here it is. You can see the little gold ring around the sensor there. There's a LED indicator in the middle. And then on the side, there's a switch when you want to close the lens, which is awesome. And then on the back, it's just USB-C and Insta360. We'll pull out the magnetic stand here, which, by the way, I will say this thing is very weighty. It's pretty heavy. So all we do is take this, take that, and clip it on just like that. Boom. Magnetic, super easy. So you have it up on your computer. If you want to twist it, you want a little bit more that way, you want a little bit more that way. Seems perfect to me. It's very strong. You know, it's never gonna fall from that magnet. And then this base here, you can open up, and then you can clip it on your monitor like that. And if you want to tilt the camera, you just push the actual magnet up itself, which is really cool. So if you want it to face down, this is something I was wondering about, because with the Link 2 Pro, it has a gimbal on it, and you basically press a button and it instantly goes right down. If you've ever seen a Jerry Rig Everything video, he's got the top down view. You can do it with that. And I was wondering if that was something that you could do with this, even though this is a stationary webcam, and you can. Just say you have it hooked up to your computer, just like that, and you want it to go down. Oh my goodness, it goes over 90 degrees. Probably looking at your monitor at this point, but who knows, maybe that's what you want to do. Personally, for me, I don't think the Link 2 Pro is worth it with the gimbal. That's for people who are up and walking around and they want it to auto track and follow them and stuff like that. I don't really need that, and if I want to get a specific angle, I can just pop this puppy up and do it in 2 seconds, so I don't need that part to be automatic. Just another thing to break potentially. Do that. Comes with a USB-A to USB-C adapter. This way, you know, if you have a newer setup, you can plug your USB-C right in, but if you have an older setup, they give you a nice adapter. Let's now hook this up and see how the software works and what it looks like. All right, guys, so to download the software, you're just gonna go right to Insta360.com. Here we are. It looks pretty good. I gotta admit, just right out of the box, you can see like the hairs on my eyebrows. I shaved a couple days ago. You can see the hair follicles on my face. Like, this is very detailed. And to me, this looks way better already than the MacBook Pro 1080p camera, which is supposed to be the same resolution. So, little confusing. Maybe it's because the sensor is bigger. Not sure. But we'll compare them side by side in a second and see what they look like. All right, guys, here we are. We're now in OBS. So on the left side, we have the MacBook Pro M4 Pro 1080p webcam built into the laptop. And on the right, we have the Insta360 Link 2C Pro. So this is both raw images. You guys tell me what you think looks better. I tried to move the webcam over as close as I could to the laptop so these images are similar, but I can't get them exactly the same, but you get the point. What I'm seeing, to be honest, it looks like it's a more natural skin tone on the Insta360. These are both 1080p, by the way, so I'm gonna change this Link 2C to 4K in a minute, and we'll see how big of a difference that is. Just looking, I'll put my hands up here, or I guess I can just, you can see just the image quality on the Insta360 is crazy. You can see my calluses, you can see the lines of my hands. I mean, just looking at like the Nike sign on my shirt, you can tell on the Mac it's kind of blurry. Super clear on the Insta. My chain, like the reflections on my chain on the Insta, you can really see it. On the MacBook Pro, it's a little bit washed out almost. If I scooch this over, maybe we can compare the colors. So my air conditioned vent is right there, and you can actually see a little bit, it's a little bit clear up here. It seems like the MacBook Pro is again making it like like that's white and this looks blue. This is the true color on the Insta360 over here. Like, this is yellow, but that's making it like gold. This is green, that's like a bright lime green. This is blue, it's making it look like a dark blue. That's light blue, and that looks dark. That's purple, that's like a really, really deep purple. And that's white, and that's a little bit more blue. So, it just looks like the color tones on the MacBook, it is changing something up a little bit. I don't exactly know, but even when it comes to 1080p, again, this is a completely honest review. I paid like $2,200 for this high-end M4 Pro MacBook Pro laptop. I spent my hard-earned money on this $200 Link 2C webcam. I'm putting them both in here so you guys can look at both and hopefully tell a difference. I don't know anything about photography, videography. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. And I'm telling a very clear difference. It just looks a natural skin tone here, and it's very clear. Now we're gonna do low light conditions. So as you can tell, I completely blacked out my room, and this is absolutely crazy. I mean, the MacBook Pro camera in this instance is absolutely atrocious. I look like a blob. Like, absolutely insane. All the lights are off in my room. It's completely dark. And I can't even believe the Insta360 on 1080p still is picking up this much detail. First, let's turn on the LED lights in the background and let's see how they both react. Alright, so now we have the LED lights in the background. It's crazy to me, for someone who knows nothing about videography, cinematography, any of that, that these are the same resolution webcam, and this one is just so much better. It doesn't even make sense. The MacBook Pro is just so comparable in good lighting conditions, and now it looks like a potato. Like, it is horrible. And, you know, this is a laptop webcam. You can't expect too much from it, but the low light on this MacBook is absolutely horrible. They do have an option now on these new MacBooks where you're FaceTiming, you can, or even if you're like on a Zoom call or something, you can press ring light, and it will actually like light up the whole edge of the screen super bright. And they must be doing that for a reason, because the low light, they do not want you to be using. Just plug my monitor back in. Yep, you can see a grave difference. Let's turn all the lights back on and let's see. All right, so now I have all the lighting back on, how I record, and admittedly, the MacBook Pro looks 10 times better than it did before. Now, we're finally gonna switch to 4K. So let's go do that and see what happens. We are back again in our low lighting conditions, but we are now shooting in 4K on the Link 2C Pro. So this is the highest possible quality of image we will get from this Link 2C. I think it obviously looks really good over here. The MacBook Pro still looks horrible. But admittedly, I don't think there's a huge difference between the 1080p and the 4K in low light conditions on the Link 2C. It doesn't look like it to me anyway. Maybe if I was viewing this on a 4K monitor or a 4K TV, I would see a bigger difference. I'm only looking at this on my laptop screen, which I think is technically like 3K or something like that. Yeah, it looks really good, I think. For low light conditions, you can see me very good. I think it's great. But going from that 1080 to the 4K on the Link 2C, I don't think is a huge difference in low light conditions. So now let's turn the LED lights back on. All right, so now we have our LED lights back on. Now you can tell an insane difference. I mean, you can see every single tiny little wrinkle in this flag. So now let's plug my monitor back in and let's compare that. Okay, so my monitor is plugged back in, and again, the MacBook Pro is a little grainy. It's struggling a little bit. Huge difference with this 4K now in a little bit better lighting. I mean, this is just a monitor. It's not even like any good lighting. And anybody could record with this, could stream with this. I mean, this is such a massive difference. Detail in my face, my eyes, the colors, my teeth there. This is very, very impressive, I think. Now let's turn all the lighting back on. All right, so we have all the lighting back on here, and this 4K is crazy. I mean, I think, personally, it's just, I don't even know what to say. It is almost scary how detailed this webcam is. I normally have very blue eyes, and you can see the MacBook Pro here. It's almost making the eyes darker, like to match my shirt. But here, you can see they're a little bit lighter of a blue, and this is the actual blue that they are. Again, like looking at the chain, the detail in the chain is crazy. Just like look at my arms. Huge difference, I think. Honestly, super impressed with this. I have a tiny scar here on the left side of my face, and you can definitely see it on the Link 2C. I think you can see it a little bit on the MacBook Pro there, but it's a little more blotchy. It's not as clear as this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this comparison. Now I'm just gonna record the rest of the video on the Link 2C, and let's talk about it a little bit. All right, guys, here we are fully on the Link 2C Pro in 4K, maxed out. Everything's maxed out, and this thing looks incredible. I mean, the wrinkles in my shirt, the chain here, like just my hair, my ears. This thing is wild. And like with the LED light going in the background, that could probably confuse a camera or make it keep trying to change colors or focusing or whatever. It's handling it like an absolute champ. This thing, look at the detail in my face. You can see the wrinkles. You can see I gotta pluck my eyebrows here, my teeth. I mean, just look at my hand. It autofocuses super quickly. It is crazy nowadays. You really don't need a professional camera to make content anymore. Like, if you're just sitting at your desk, so many creators, like the big creators and everything, they have these $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 Sony cameras and stuff, and it's this big bulky camera, and it's sitting on the desk, and this big lens and the sensor and everything, and it's like everything's plugged in and everything. Like, and it looks stellar. I mean, that's the highest quality picture and content you're possibly gonna get. But these new webcams are stepping up their game so unbelievably. You don't need those anymore. If you're at that level where you're making so much income, whatever, and you want it, and you want, do whatever you got to do. But I now see why people can just buy a webcam and make super clear quality content. If you want to stream, if you want to record YouTube videos, if you want to do reactions, if you want to even like do video game content and just have your face cam in the corner or something like that, this thing's impeccable. This is a webcam. This is not a dedicated camera. This is not anything. And this is a raw image. This webcam is not altered in any way. All of the people who were sent these cameras and sponsored by Insta360 or whatever and all the different review videos, they all put the filters on and everything like that. I'm just doing straight raw image. So it can only get a little bit better from here. Webcams have caught up. They've caught up. A $200 webcam. That's a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but comparing this to like a $50 1080p, it blows it out of the water. And then comparing this to a $2,000 dedicated big giant camera that you have at your desk, I think this is perfect. I mean, it's so little. The form factor is crazy. It's just resting right on top of my monitor. And I don't think, honestly, most people would be able to tell a difference between this and one of those big dedicated cameras. I really don't think they would at all. I definitely made the right decision going Link 2C Pro, I think, over Link 2C. Even though that one is 4K, I think we saw with the low light and everything, comparing the 1080p's together, that the size of the sensor is super important. All right, so now what I actually want to do, I want to test out these microphones really quick. So I've been recording this whole video on the MacBook Pro microphones. They're like these studio mics. They're supposed to be pretty good. But now I want to do it on the Link 2C. So let's try that out and let's see how it sounds. All right, so we are back, and this is the Insta360 Link 2C Pro microphone right out of the box. So I haven't adjusted anything, and you guys have been listening to the whole video on my MacBook Pro studio microphones so far. Those are supposed to be some really good microphones, so I just use those all the time. But maybe you don't have that, and so you want to use this. I haven't moved my position, and I'm just talking normally, and we'll see how this sounds compared to the MacBook Pro microphones. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of the Insta360's microphone in the comments. I will put my opinion on the screen of which one I think is better. And yeah. Alright guys, this is a little bonus at the end of the video. I'm going to compare the DJI Mic 2 microphones to the MacBook Pro's microphone, the Link 2C's microphone. We're going to do this in a couple different ways. So we have the MacBook microphones you've been listening in the whole time. We just did the Link 2C's microphones. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to hook up one of these DJI mics Bluetooth to my computer. So we're going to Bluetooth the microphone, and I'm going to speak through that, and we're going to see what that sounds like compared to the rest. And then I'm going to take the receiver and plug the receiver into the computer and speak through that. I have one of these DJI Mic 2s by itself. I bought before I knew anything about this receiver situation. That was my plan, was to use that as my microphone using Bluetooth. It came out horribly. It was not like, I don't know what was wrong with it, but it was bad. I don't know. It was like choppy. It wasn't reading my voice too well. That's kind of more of like if you're just recording on your phone and you want to use Bluetooth or something, it'll work. But supposedly people were saying online, and I talked to some of my friends and stuff that do like videography stuff, they're saying this receiver is night and day. It will blow you away comparing connecting it with Bluetooth. I'm not exactly sure why. I really don't know. Like, the receiver, I guess, is outputting its own channel that the mic is connected to. But I don't really know why that would be any difference between the Bluetooth. So, I don't know. Somebody down in the comments can tell me the science behind all of that stuff. Let's connect my DJI mic using Bluetooth, and I'll talk a couple sentences on that. And then we'll try this new receiver situation and see how good that sounds. I'm super excited about it. All right, guys. As you can see in that last clip, it was not even picking up audio on the Bluetooth. I mean, it is so messed up. The Bluetooth on the DJI Mic 2 works amazing on the iPhone. Even my GoPro Hero 13 from 100 feet away, it works perfect. Connecting it to a MacBook Pro on Bluetooth, it hates it. It will not. It's so messed up. It doesn't. Half the time, it doesn't even pick up audio. It didn't in that whole clip I was talking. Not an ideal situation. But now, we're on the whole new professional setup that we have going. So, I have the receiver plugged into my computer, and then I have the DJI Mic 2 just in my hand here. And it seems to be working perfectly. It's picking up. It has the green, yellow, and the red. So I know it's hearing me. I know it's picking up my voice. I don't exactly know how it sounds, but it's supposed to sound stellar. It's supposed to sound exactly like my voice. But yeah, I can see the screen on the receiver is working perfectly. This is working perfectly. Clip it here, so we don't have to touch it anymore. Like we were doing in this second little portion of the video here, is comparing the MacBook Pro studio microphones to the Link 2C Pro microphones on the webcam, to the DJI Mic 2 Bluetooth, which I was using my little thing here. And now, this should be the best sounding one so far. It should be amazing. This is the professional DJI Mic 2 with the receiver combo. So this should be sounding really good right now. And this, if it sounds good, it's supposed to, going forward, is what I'm going to do in all my videos. I'm going to use my nice new webcam I got and this mic setup. But just to keep talking here to see how it sounds normally. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you appreciate an honest review from someone like me who has no following. I was not paid to do anything. I was not given any of this stuff for free. I hope to help a bunch of you people out there. And hopefully me spending my hard-earned money saves you guys a couple bucks or justifies if you want to spend the extra couple bucks to get a nice webcam like this webcam. So I will put on the screen right here what I think of every single thing that I did. Maybe I'll do like a little rating scale. So I'll put on the screen right here. I'll rate 1 through 10 the MacBook Pro webcam, the MacBook Pro mics, the 2C Pro 1080p, the 2C Pro 4K, the 2C Pro microphones, and then the DJI Mic 2 and receiver combo microphones. So I'll rate all those on the screen right here. You guys leave me your rating down below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps a bunch of you out. And I hope it explains to a lot of you that anybody can make content nowadays. And this is the cool thing. It's like you don't need a fancy setup. You don't need a bunch of expensive equipment. And honestly, that intimidated me when I first started doing stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I tried my phone, I tried a GoPro, like all these different things. It's really simple. You just have to research, talk to somebody who knows about this kind of stuff, and go from there. I made a car video just doing a little introduction. I used my MacBook Pro to edit it, which I do have a really good MacBook Pro, but I need it for school. So I didn't buy it extra. I already had it. But you can use a Windows computer. You know, you can find a computer, honestly. You don't need a crazy computer to do basic editing stuff. Or if you're going to stream, you don't even have to worry about that. And then I have a $15 LED lamp that my mother bought me that has worked great forever, and that's the lighting over here. So my computer I already had. I was using the microphones and the webcam from my computer doing the 1080p. In the first video, people say it looked good and it sounded good, which is fine. I want a higher quality of content, which is why I invested in this, because I think it's going to be worth it for me in the long run. But that's not necessary to first start out. In the comments below, let me know what your favorite combination was. Was the Link 2C's microphone in the MacBook's image your favorite? Or was it the Link 2C's image in the MacBook Studio mics? Or was it the DJI mic and the Link 2C's image? Hey guys, I just wanted to leave 2 special messages to my parents and my grandparents at the end of the video here, because none of this would be possible without them. The reason I say that is because my birthday was recently, and I would not at all have been able to afford this beautiful new 4K webcam and this super sick new microphone setup without them. Hopefully, they enjoy the content, because some of this content I would love for my parents to watch and my grandparents to watch. And it's kind of a way, hopefully, for them to like listen to me or maybe connect with me a little bit while I'm across the country at school. So I just wanted to leave that message for them. I love you guys, and thank you so much for supporting me and all my little hobbies and my school journey and everything like that. All right, it's been real. I will see you guys in the next video, baby.